Hey, what's up party people? My name is Darrel Wilson, and today in this video, I'm going to show you all how to make a website with Elementor Pro and WordPress. Elementor is the world's leading page builder with more than 4 million active installs because it's super easy to use for beginners and completely drag and drop. So you can see why it's so popular. And to be quite honest, making websites today with WordPress and Elementor Pro has gotten really simple because you don't need to know any sort of coding. So you'll have your website up and running in a few clicks. Okay, so we're gonna build your new website in 4 simple steps. So step 1, we'll get your domain and hosting. So for example, myamazingwebsite.com. Step 2, we'll install WordPress, and big companies like eBay, Facebook, and also Mitsubishi all use WordPress because it's really simple to use. Step 3, we'll install the Elementor Page Builder. The Elementor Page Builder is the #1 most popular page builder for WordPress. And step 4, we are going to build your WordPress website with Elementor, and I'll guide you through the process of building your website all the way. With Elementor Pro, you can make any changes you want to your website, like changing the text, switching the fonts or color, adjusting the size of the column, adding any images you want to your website, and even moving them to anywhere that you want. You can also add these really cool shape dividers to your website. You can change the style and also the color of the shape dividers. You can add gradient backgrounds or even a really cool video background to your website. Elementor Pro also allows you to add these amazing motion effects to your website, which you can animate in any direction on your new WordPress website. And let's not forget, your website will be fully optimized for Mac, PC, tablets, and all mobile devices. Plus, with hundreds of pre-designed blocks and templates to choose from, you'll have the website you've always wanted up and running in a few clicks. And the great part is these templates and blocks are completely free. So Elementor Pro, it not only allows you to build a website, but you can just add some amazing functionality and design to your website unlike any other with no coding whatsoever. So are you guys ready to start this tutorial? Huh? What? Yeah! Okay, let's get started with this tutorial. So step 1, we'll get your domain and hosting. Step 2, we'll install WordPress. Step 3, we'll install the Elementor Page Builder. And step 4, we are going to build out your new amazing website, and you're gonna love it. I promise, you are gonna love it. Now, there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a page that looks just like this right here. And this right here is SiteGround.com. Now, you've seen my other videos. I've been recommending SiteGround.com for almost 4 years now, and that's because SiteGround.com came up as the #1 as the fastest with the best uptime when you're hosting your website. So I tested 15 other companies, and SiteGround came up with a load time of around 1.8 seconds. So you can be certain that your website will be very fast compared to other web hosting providers. So we have 3 plans right here. We have the Startup, we have the Grow Big, and the Go Geek. For most of you, you probably want to go with the Grow Big plan because with the Grow Big plan, you can host unlimited websites and you get a little bit more space rather than just a single website. So you can see the difference right here. And personally, I don't think you need the Go Geek just yet. That's for people like myself who have a lot more websites and stuff. So right here under the Grow Big plan, click on Get Plan. All right, and right here, you're gonna give your website a new name. So go ahead and talk it over with your friends or your buddies and give it some thoughts because this is going to be your new web address. So for this tutorial, I'll just do something like website tutorial Darrel.com. And then right here, I'll click on proceed. All right, cool. And this right here is the checkout page. So right here, you'll put in your account information. And then here, you'll put in the client information, like your first name and your last name. And then here we have the payment information, so you can pay with credit card. And then also here you'll put in your social security number. I'm just kidding. No social, just kidding. Right here is the purchase information. So right here we have a period, and I recommend doing 12 months because 12 months will actually give you enough time to decide if this is for you or not. And you also get the largest discounts with 12 months. And remember, there's a 30-day money back guarantee for any reason whatsoever. And then here we have extra services. Now, I require you guys to check on this domain privacy. The reason why is because if you don't have domain privacy checked, you're gonna get all these unsolicited emails and spam trying to sell you Viagra sex pills and SEO packages and all this really weird stuff that you don't want. So if you have this checked, this will protect your personal information. So make sure you have that checked right there. And then scrolling down here, we have the terms of service and privacy policy. So make sure you have that checked. So once you're all set, click on Pay Now, and I'll meet you on the very next page. All right, cool. So after you've purchased hosting, it'll take you to this page right here. And then right here, click on Proceed to Customer Area. All right, awesome. So to set up your website right here, just click on Set Up Site. Now right here, we have two options. We have Start a New Website and Migrate Website. Right here, just click on Start a New Website. And right here, we have four options, but we want to select WordPress. So click on WordPress. Here, you'll create some login credentials. So make sure you write this down because you're going to need this information every time you log in and make changes to your WordPress website. So I'm going to go ahead and put in an email address and a password. All right, so I'm all set. And right here, once you're done, you'll click on Continue. So right now it's asking us if we want to add this to our plan. Personally, I don't need this right now, and I don't think you do either. So I'm going to skip this and just click on Finish. And that's it. And right now, SiteGround is setting up your new website. Make sure also to check your email because you're going to get an email from SiteGround saying verification required. Open up this email right here and you're going to verify the domain that you purchased. So right here, you'll have this link. So click on this link and it'll take you to this page right here. And you need to verify your domain, basically saying that you're a real person and not some robot, or else they're going to suspend your domain. So all you need to do right here is just click on Verify Information and you're done. Your domain is verified. All right, cool. So the website has been successfully installed and we are all set. So right here, click on Manage Site. So this right here is the SiteGround dashboard. So on the left side right here, you'll see WordPress. Click on WordPress and then click on Install and Manage. So this right here is going to show the installations of WordPress that you have for your website. And right here on the bottom, we can see our website. And then right here, you can see that WordPress has been installed. Right here under Actions, on the bottom right, it's going to say Log into Admin Panel. Click on Log into Admin Panel. All right, cool. And it'll take you to this page right here. But I don't really want to go through the setup wizard. So on the bottom right here where it says Exit, click on Exit. And congratulations, your website is now live on the internet. Now, if you want to see your website right now, on the top left right here, you'll see My WordPress. Just click on Visit Site. And this right here is your new website. It's a little plain, it's a little boring, and it's really ugly. So we need to make a lot of changes to it. So before we go into the design process and start building our website, we need to change some general settings. So right here under My WordPress, let's go back to the dashboard. So the first thing we'll do is disable this plugin right here. We don't need this WordPress starter. So right here under plugins, click on Installed Plugins. You're going to get very familiar with plugins as this tutorial goes on. But right here we have WordPress Starter. Go ahead and deactivate the WordPress Starter. All right, cool. Next, let's go right here to Users and go to Your Profile. So in the future, if you want to change something like the color or your email or your password, this is where you're going to do it. So right here, I'm going to select Midnight. I like Midnight. I feel like Midnight's, I don't know. I like it. You can go through these other ones and see which one you like. Scrolling down here. So if you ever want to change your email, this is where you're going to change your email. And that's pretty important because that's what you're going to use to log into your websites. And then right here, we have the generate password. So if you ever need to make a new password, this is where you're going to do it. You can just click on generate new password and then just go to update profile and you're all set. Okay, cool. Another thing I wanted to let you know is that if you speak a different language, right here under settings in general, you can actually have the backend change the text right here to your specific language. So many of my viewers ask me about a plugin for that. And I said, guys, right here it's in the site language. So right here, you can select any language and they have pretty much any, I think they have every language out there. They have a lot of languages. So you can select your language. And then once you're done, you'll click on Save Changes and it'll apply throughout the entire backend. Now there's two more things that we need to change. Right here under permalinks, we need to change our permalinks, and I'll explain what this is. So right here we have our permalink settings, and you want to have it under post name. The reason why is because when someone comes to your website, like for example, your website.com-about us, right? Not a bunch of numbers and a really ugly permalink. So post name is the best for SEO, and it makes your site look a lot more cleaner. So once you click on post name, right here, click on Save Changes. Next, we need to fix this SSL right here. So you notice right here on the top of your website how this says connection not secure. And if you go to other websites like Google, you're going to see that this is a secure connection. So we need to change our connection to a secure connection. So we just need to install a free plugin. Right here under plugins, click on Add New. What plugins are, guys, they're essentially applications for your website. So there's an application/plugin for pretty much everything out there, just like your iPhone. So right here under search plugins, you'll type in really simple SSL. I'm not kidding. That is the name of the plugin, really simple SSL. And this right here is a plugin that you need. It has 4 million active installs. Right here, just click on install now. And then you'll click on activate. All right, so right here, it'll tell you that you're almost ready to migrate to the SSL. Now, before you do this, make sure that you have your password and email written down, the one I told you to write down, because it's going to kick you out of WordPress and you're going to have to re-log in. So right here, click on go ahead and activate the SSL. All right, cool. So on the top right here, you'll notice that the connection is secured. Now in the future, I'm going to show you now how to log into your website whenever you want to make changes to your WordPress website. So right here, you'll see your domain name. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and delete all this. And right here, you'll type in wp-admin, just like that. And then you'll click on enter. So this is the address that you need to type in every single time that you want to make changes and log into your website. So right here, I'm going to enter in my username and my password. Okay, and here I'll click on remember me and I will log in. All right, cool. So all the general settings are done and your SSL has been activated. So now your site is secure. Now, as you guys use plugins and themes, you're going to get notices from the developers. You can just close those messages. They're just little things saying, hey, go give me a 5-star rating, etc. So if you want to do that, you can do that, but you can always close the notices at any time. Okay, so now we're going to move on to step 3. So we're going to download Elementor Pro. So right here, I'm going to go to darrelwilson.com/Elementor. Now this is an affiliate link, so if you guys do decide to use this link, I do get a small commission and it helps me make these tutorials for you all for free. All right, so here we have the Elementor Pro pricing plan. So we have personal, plus, and experts. Now with all these purchases, you get a year of support and updates, and you also get a 30-day money back guarantee for any reason whatsoever. So most of us that are just getting started out, I would probably recommend the plus plan, because with the plus plan, you can have it on 3 websites. Now, personally, I think the best value here is the expert plan, because for just $100 more, you can get it on 1,000 websites. So I think that is the best value as far as money goes. And remember, you do get full support and updates. So if you ever have a problem with something or if something's not working, you can always go ahead and let them know and they'll fix any problems that you have on your website. So right here, I'm gonna click on buy now. All right, and this right here is the checkout page. So right here, you'll see that you'll be charged around $199 depending on your plan. And then here, you'll go ahead and put in your payment methods and all this good stuff. Now, I already have Elementor, so I'm gonna go ahead and log into my account and I'll meet you on the very next page. So once you purchase Elementor Pro, it'll take you to your account. So right here, you can see your accounts, your purchases, your supports. If you wanna promote Elementor, you can do that as well. And then here you have your personal profile, and then this is the experts tab. The only thing that you need from this page is download plugin. So right here, just click on download plugin and we're going to download Elementor Pro. All right, cool. So now that we have Elementor Pro, we can upload it to our website. So right here under plugins, click on add new, and we're just going to simply upload the plugin to our website. So right here, you'll click on upload plugin. And then right now you'll go ahead and upload the zip file that you downloaded from the Elementor website. So this right here is the file. I'll click on open. And then right here, I'll click on install now. All right, cool. So the plugin has been successfully installed. Right here, just click on activate plugin. All right, awesome. We now have Elementor Pro on our website, but we need the base version of Elementor. So right here, it's going to say install Elementor now. Click on install Elementor now. And then we'll click on activate plugin. All right, so right here it's saying welcome to Elementor, and it's a little setup wizard, but I'm gonna close this right here. So right here on your dashboard, it's saying welcome to Elementor Pro. So I wanna connect this to the Elementor website so I can get updates and support. So right here, I'll click on connect and activate. And right here, I'll simply click on activate. All right, awesome. So now we have Elementor Pro activated. So before we build out our website, I wanna install a few plugins that'll help us build our website. So right here under plugins, we'll click on add new. And right here under search plugins, type in Elementor Elements. Everyone loves plugins because it's just a bunch of free stuff that helps you build your website. So that's why everyone loves plugins. So here we have the Elementor Elements. Right here, we'll click on install now. What this plugin does, it gives us access to tons of free templates and blocks that we can use that'll really speed up the design process of our website. And then right here, we'll click on activate. All right, cool. And there's one more plugin that we need to install. So go back right here to add new under plugins. And then right here, type in Piotnet, Piotnet. And then press enter. And this is an add-on for Elementor. So this gives us a lot of cool things like gradient buttons, gradient backgrounds, and all sorts of really cool stuff that we can add to our website. So right here, just click on install now, and then click on activate. All right, cool. So it'll take you to this page right here. And this just has a list of features that we can add throughout our website, like gradient text, a gradient button, a sales pop, a video playlist, all sorts of really cool gadgets and widgets we can use throughout our website. So there's nothing we need to do right here. But right here, you see this Elements tab. Click on the Elements tab. Now we installed the first plugin, we need to actually go ahead and agree to the terms. So right here, click on agree to the terms, and then click on continue. And this is going to give you access to their library of templates that we can use for free on our website. All right, cool. So this right here is our library of templates and blocks that we can use. So we're going to come back to this as we build our page. The next thing that we're going to do is install our WordPress theme. So we need to install a theme that we can use so that we can build our website on. So right here under appearance, click on themes. So right here under themes, click on add new. And we're going to install a free theme. So there are tons of free themes that you can use for your website, and basically every theme has a pro and a con. So every theme does something that maybe another theme doesn't. And there's Astra, Hello Elementor, Ocean WP, just tons of free themes that you can use. And the great part is that once you're building your website, you can always switch back between themes without losing the content on your website, which is really cool. Now we're going to install a newer theme, and it's called Neve. So this is it right here. So Neve is the newest theme out there, and it has a lot of features like a header and footer builder that a lot of themes like Astra and Ocean WP don't have. So we're going to install this one right here. It's called Neve. So right here, just click on install. Also, if you can't find it, right here under search themes, you can type in Neve and it'll take you to the theme as well. And once the theme has been installed, you can click on activate. All right, awesome. So we now have installed Neve on our website. So let's import a demo website and then we'll work off the demo website. So right here it says, try one of our ready to use starter websites. Click on this. All right, and they have a bunch of free templates that we can use on our website. So you can kind of go to this list and check out all of these free templates that you can use. And don't worry about it. You guys can always delete your entire website and then upload a new template later once you kind of learn how to use the page builder. But we're going to install this one right here called Web Agency. So right here, click on import. Now right here, it's asking us about what we want to import. So the content, the customizer, and also the widgets. And then right here, just click on import. So right now it's just installing the plugins and the content. So it'll basically make the website for us automatically. All right, awesome. So the content was successfully imported. If you got an error, you can just try again. Sometimes weird things happen. You might get an error here and there, and you can always just try it again and it should work. So right here, just click on view website. All right, cool. So the website has successfully been imported. So we have our logo, we have our menu, we have our buttons. Let's go ahead and scroll down here just to make sure everything looks good and in order. Everything looks clean, everything looks good, and looks like we are all ready to rock and roll. So let's go back up here. Let's check the other pages really quick. So right here, I'll click on the About Us page. And then we have our About Us page. Everything looks pretty good. And then we have our contact page. Good. And then our portfolio page. So it looks like everything has successfully been imported. So let's go back to our home page here. So next, let's go ahead and build out our website. Let's go ahead and make changes, and let's go ahead and modify our website to make it look like how we want it to look. Now there is demo images for all of you in the description below this video that you can use to follow along in this tutorial. So right here, click on Edit with Elementor, and this is what we're going to use throughout the video to build out our website. All right, so now we can start editing our website. So on the left side right here, we have a bunch of icons that we can just kind of drag and drop onto our website. And then right here, we have the Pro features. So these right here are the Pro elements that we get with Elementor Pro. So we have animated headline, we have all these other cool widgets. And if you want to go ahead and drag something in, you would just go ahead and hold it and then just drag it onto your page and then just drop it. And that's it. And then right here to the left side, you get a bunch of options where you can change the style, and you can go ahead and change all the settings for it, the alignment and all this stuff. So what I want to do first is we have this text right here. I don't really want this text. So right here we can change the text, change the text to anything, but I don't want this text. So right here under this pencil icon, I'm going to right click and then click on delete. So that's how we can start deleting stuff that we don't want on our website. So what I want to do here is I want to use this heading module right here, because this is a pro feature. And right here we have the before text, and then we have the highlighted text, which is this little red circle under this text. So I'm going to put make websites with Darrel, and then for the highlighted text I'll put Wilson. And then right here we have the option to do highlighted, we can rotate, and then here we have the shape, so we can do something like curly or underline or double, and you guys can, you know, get the idea in the picture here. So I'll just do circle. And then also right here we can paste the link, so if you want to link that to somewhere else, we can do that. Also right here we have after the text, so I'll put example. So let's say, for example, that you want to have more text after this. You can go ahead and do that if you choose to do that. But I'm just going to leave that there. And then right here we have the style. So style is basically how you can style it. So you can change the color, topography, and everything else. And every single button and everything else on your website have the same style box. So for example, this one right here, I can change the color to something like red or something like that. So once you kind of learn one element, you learn basically all the elements. So one thing I want to do here is I want to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger, because I think this is a little bit too small. So right here under the headline, we have the text color where we can change the color of this, and then also topography. So right here under the family, I want to use Poppins. I think Poppins is like the standard one. And right here also we have animated text. So here we can also change the font and everything else. So maybe here I can do something like Montserrat. I think by default the theme is actually using Poppins because it's a very friendly font, and I find that most people see it and it's easy to the eye. So right here, this text, we want to make it bigger. So right here I will increase the size of it like that, something like that, and then I can reduce this. And then that's how our site looks right now. So it's pretty easy to make changes and everything. Now, one thing I want to do here is I want to change this background image, because it just, you know, it just looks a little dark and a little gloomy, and I just don't really like it. So if you want to add or change something to the background, you'll click on these 6 dots right here. And then right here we have style. Here we have the classic, we have the gradient, the video, and then the slideshow. So for example, if I want to add a gradient, I can click on this, and then I can change the color to something like gradient. So the first color would be this, and the second color would be that. So now you can see it's a gradient color. And then you can kind of go through these options and mess around with it, like radial, and you can actually do like, you know, where you want it to start and the location. So there's just a lot of different ways on how you can customize your website. So right here, I want to go to classic, and I think standardized, most people use images. So what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and click on choose the image, and then click on media library. And these are like the demo images that you get. So whenever you get images or you upload them to your website, they're going to always be displayed in the media library. But right here, I'll click on upload files, and I'll go ahead and upload the files that I gave you all for free in this video. So here I'll click on select files, and then click on open. So right now the images are uploading to the server. All right, so the images have successfully been uploaded, and the one I'm going to select is plants and stuff. It's this file right here, and I'll click on insert media. So you can see now how the website, it just looks a little bit more friendlier. It looks a little bit nicer. It looks a lot cleaner than before. But this button right here, I kind of want to change the color scheme of my website. So right here under the learn more button, I'll click on this, and I'll go to style. So you're going to notice right here that we have this gradient button feature, and this is the plugin that we installed earlier. So now we can actually apply gradients throughout our website. So right here, I'll click on gradient button, and I'll enable the gradient button. So here we have some options. We have the color and the secondary color and the location and all of this stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of adjust this right here. So For this one right here, I'm going to put 40 for the location to kind of add a gradient to it. And then for the second location, I'm going to put 87. And then right here for the angle, I'm going to put 150. Just to kind of give it a little bit of angle like that. Now, one thing you'll notice that this text is black and it just doesn't really look good. So we got to change that. So right here under the button icon, under the text color, we can change this to white. And there you go. So now you can see that the site looks a lot more friendlier. It looks a lot more inviting and just really clean. So our homepage is done. Congratulations. And one thing I want to note to you all about your homepage is a representation of your entire website. So I will be having a web design course pretty soon. And once you kind of make the style for your homepage, you need to kind of carry that throughout your entire website so it doesn't get tacky and ugly. Because let's say, for example, I scroll down right here and then they see yellow right there. It's like there's no yellow right here. So we want to go ahead and keep making changes to this. So right here, I'm going to open this up. And right here, we have this plus icon. Now, I want to add a new section right here in between these sections. So I'll click on this plus icon right here. And then if you want to just kind of build the site without using templates, right here we have this plus section. And here we have different columns. So we can have 1 column, 2 columns, or 3 columns. So I'll click on 3 columns. I'll click on these little 9 squares. I guess that's to go back to the elements. And then here we have Pro Elements. So what you can do here is say, all right, maybe I want to add in like a flip box. So right here, I'll take in this flip box and I'll just drag and drop it until I see that blue line and then just drop it. And there you go. And then here you can kind of see how we can kind of decorate stuff. So this actually has a front and a back, and this right here controls the front, and then this right here controls the back. And if you want to style something, just click on style right here, and then you can kind of style it how you want it to look. You can make the icon bigger. You can change the primary color. You can rotate the icon to be a different part. So see how the star is kind of rotating. So just go through these options and kind of just get an idea of what they do. I don't really need to go in these in depth because I think you guys know what these do, right? So, it's just styling and making things look how you want it to look. So let's go back over here to content, and I'll click on these buttons again right here. And let's say I want to add in something else. So maybe I want to add an animated headline. And then also I want to add in a button. So I'll just drag and drop it under there. And then here I can center align it as well. And then right here under the style section, we can always go ahead and style that. And you can always apply the gradient as well. And then under the advanced features, there's other options where you can kind of move it around. So if you want to add space, here actually I'll uncheck that. If you want to add space, so padding is basically space. So you can see here how the button's creating space. And if I reduce it, it actually, it goes back and forth. So padding is basically space. We'll talk more about padding and margin a little bit later in the video. But for right now, let's just get comfortable and just use like the basic elements. And then also right here, we have positioning, responsiveness, and other things that we'll cover a little bit later in the advanced section of the video. But going back here, I'll click on this, and let's just go ahead and just drag in one more element to get you a little bit more comfortable here. So I'll just grab in like a call to action right here and drop it. And then, for example, right here, just choose an image. I'll choose this one, insert media. I'm actually really glad they introduced this module, because before I had to actually create an image module, a text module, and a button module. So when Elementor first came out, they did not have this module. So I'm actually really glad they actually introduced this. And they have different skins. So they have classic and they have cover. It's just different styles and how you can design your website and everything. So this is how you would build out the website in the basic way. However, we are going to use pre-made elements that'll make it a lot more faster. So I'm going to delete this section right here. So under this X little button right here, I'll click on that. And then right here on the plus icon, I'll click on this green icon right here. And this is the plugin that we installed on our website called Envato Elements. So they do have a lot of templates that you can use, but personally, I think that most people tend to use the blocks the most. So right here we have blocks. So click on blocks. And here we have different blocks. So we have hero, which is the landing page, call to action, about, and all these different categories for our specific blocks. So for example, right here, let's go ahead and click on the about section. So I'll click on about, and here we can scroll down and we can see that we can just click on add this to the page and it'll add this block to our page. So basically this plugin will take care of all the design aspects, so we don't have to build everything from scratch, because that can take a long time, you know. It really, really can. So the one that I installed was the one on the bottom, I believe. I think it was right here on the bottom on the About Us section. This is it right here. So this is the one that I installed right here. And then I'll click on add this block to the page. And you'll notice how this requires Elementor Pro because it's using Pro Elements. All right, cool. So now we have this really nice section right here, and we can make changes to this. So I'll click on this right here, and I'll just put Darrel Wilson. All right. And then right here we have the image. So if you want to change this image right here, you can always just click on choose image and then change the image in the back. But personally, I'm just going to leave it standard for now. And right here under style, we have the style of everything. And here we have content. So what I want to do is I want to change the content actually. So right here under the topography, I'm going to change this to pop-ins. Now, a big word of advice for all of you watching this: please only have 1 to 2 fonts on your website. If you have more than that, your website will look very tacky and it won't look good. So here again, I'll do pop-ins. All right, so you notice here how we have this style, and you know, it can be very tedious to actually do that again and again. So let's go ahead now and just copy elements. So right here, I'm gonna right click and click on copy. See that? We got copy, right? And then right here, I'll right click on this text, and here I'll click on paste style. So you notice what happened right there. What it's gonna do is that whatever I did to this, if I copy and paste it, it's going to take whatever settings I have and it's gonna paste it over here. So you can see how that will drastically speed up the design process of your website without you having to kind of redo everything. In fact, we're gonna copy this button right here and we're gonna paste the styles throughout our website so we can always have the same style button throughout our website. Maybe one thing I wanna change here is the hover effect, because when I hover over this, this turns black and I just something that looks good. So if I click on this button right here, so here we have the normal and then we have hover. So click on hover. Here under the text color, I'll change this to white. So now when I hover over the button, it's gonna stay white. And I think that's a little bit better than what it was before. Also right here, we have hover animation. So if someone hovers over this, for example, shrink, it'll get smaller. And then here, push, it'll push. And then, you know, bounce in, something like that. You know, just it encourages people to click on the button. So now that we have this section right here, I don't want this section right here because this is the default standard and now it just doesn't really fit with our website no more, right? So let's go ahead and delete this. So I'll just delete that. And right here under plus, let's add in another section right here. So I'll click on the Envato Elements button, click on blocks, and next let's go to features and benefit. So here we have the features and benefits blocks, and you can see that there is a lot of blocks that we can add on our website. And the one that I chose right here was the actual, let's see if I can scroll down. Just keep scrolling. I think I chose all of them at the bottom of the page, huh? It's kind of, why did I do that, Darrel? Here we go. So we have the benefits, features and benefits slider. So let's add this block to the page and I'll kind of talk about how you can move stuff around. All right, awesome. So now I've added this to my website, but I want to move this. So I'm going to take this and just drag and drop it like that. Now for features and benefits, I want to change the colors of this. So what I can do here is I'll just go to style and change this to black. And then for the topography, I can put pop-ins, or remember earlier how I can copy and paste styles if I want to do that. So I can either go up here and copy the styles and paste it right here, or I can just do it manually. It really doesn't matter. So here on this section right here, I'll change this to black as well, because we don't really have any blue. So you don't want to make your website really tacky and stuff. So I think this right here is just fine. Maybe I can even change the topography. Remember earlier how I said keep it at like maybe 1 or 2 fonts at most? I think even 2 fonts is pushing it personally, but that's just my opinion. So we have this title right here. Now I want to change this button scheme. So what I can do right here is just go right here, copy, scroll back down, and then paste style. And then we're all done. Now I want to align this, so I'll click right here, and under alignment, I'll click to the left. Now you can also upload your own images right here. So if I click on this right here, you'll see these images. And if I want to have my own gallery, I can click on this pencil, click on add gallery, and then simply just add in any images I want to the gallery and click on add to the gallery. So that's how you can have your own images rotating and display your own images instead of the demo images. So I'll click on X. Now one thing I want to do here is I want to add a background to this. So I like the white, but I just want to add a background just because I'm feeling, feeling dangerous. So here I'll click on these 6 dots right here and go to style. And also what we can do is add in a video background. I didn't really show you all how to add a video background just yet. So if you do want to add a video background, just click on video right here and just paste the link. So for example, if there's like a 4K beach from YouTube you want people to see, just go ahead and paste the link and you'll see that the video will start playing in the background like that. So that looks really cool, but for our specific website, it doesn't really match. We have the beach and then we have black text and then there's like elegant stuff, but that's just an example of how you can paste videos for your background. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Go to classic and go to image. Personally, guys, I know beginners love video backgrounds, but video backgrounds, they don't really play well on a lot of devices, especially with different screen sizes. So try not to use video backgrounds a lot. They have a lot of issues and problems from what I've experienced. So I'm going to take this picture of the mountains and I'm going to insert this. And there you go. So now I have this picture of the mountains and it just makes it a little bit more classier, makes it a little bit nicer. And I just like that feel and style of this. So I think this part right here is done. So what I'm gonna do now is scroll down and we have this section right here. Now you can choose to have this style. In fact, right here, if I just click on paste style and then right here, click on paste style, you'll now see that we have this style applied to our website. And this now this kind of matches and correlates to the website. So I can choose to leave this or take it away if I want. Now remember, if you want to link someone with these buttons, click on the button and then right here under the link, just put your website or wherever page you want them to go to. So, www.darrelwilson.com, and then they'll go to my website if they click on this link. What you can also do right here is under link options, you can open it under a new window. So that means if I click on this button, it'll open up a new tab in my browser and they'll go to my website or whatever website you want them to go to or whatever part of the website you want them to go to. So here I'll go ahead and say, let's just add in a new section. So right here, I'll click on the plus icon and Envato Elements. And then we'll select blocks. So next right here, I'll click on services. And this is the one I actually chose. So I'll just click on add this block to the page. All right, awesome. So here we have this text and here we have these icons. So if I click on these icons right here, we can change this to anything that we want. We can change the alignments. And right here, we can just change the font. So you can put in like amazing websites. Let me capitalize that, huh? And then of course, under the style section, we can go ahead and change the typography and the style of everything. So what I want to do here is, let's just go ahead and change this right here. So under the style, we'll change this to Poppins. Prada, what kind of font's that, huh? But you know what? On this section right here, I want to make this gradient. So I have Poppins applied, but I want to make this gradient. So right here, we have gradient text. Click on gradient text. And here, click on open. So now you can see that we have this specific gradient applied to our text. And I'll just change the same thing before. So I believe right here we had it to 40, right? We had it to 40. And then for the location, I put 87 and then 150, right? 87 and then 150, 150. So you can see here how that looks really good. It just looks really clean. It looks really elegant and it just looks really nice. And you can always go ahead and copy this right here. And then you can always paste it over here as well if you want to do that. So that's up to you though. It's going to actually take the size of the font as well. So under typography, you might want to reduce the size. But when you're using gradient, guys, you have to be very careful because if you use gradients, it's very easy to make the site look really bad really fast. So I wouldn't use too much gradients. I know gradient looks really nice, but if you just add a little bit here and there, it really makes it look a lot better. But if you have too much gradients, it's going to make the site look really tacky. So I want to undo what I just did. So right here on the bottom right here, we have history. And let's say, for example, that you did something that you don't want to do. So we have the heading style that let's see if I change that here. Click on this. There we go. There we go. So that's how you can kind of go back and see, okay, I made a problem. Let's go back and see our history. So all of your history right here is saved throughout Elementor. So now that we've done that right there, I want to actually bring this up. So I want to take this features and I want to put it above. I think on the demo website, I have this part above this. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do now is take these dots and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to scroll up with my mouse and I'm going to drag and drop it like that. All right. And now you can see that this section right here has now been applied and everything else looks pretty good. So at this point, you can kind of go through this and make any changes you want. So I think most of us are using pop-ins, right? So yeah, pop-ins. And then right here, you can just copy this and then just paste the style and then paste the style. And then there you go. And then right here, you can always go ahead and change the actual image to whatever image that you want. Now also, if you want to use the icon library, I recommend that as well. So I'll take this icon right here and I'll just drag and drop it. Now this icon, I'll line it to the left side. And then right here, we have the icon library. So Elementor actually has a lot of different icons and a lot of different things that you can add. So if you want to add that to your site, you can do that. So I'll just grab this one right here. I'll insert that and then I'll just change this to black. So here, let's add in a new section. So we're almost done with the home page, which is the most important part. So here I'll click on this plus button. And then here, I'll click on Elementor Elements. I'll select blocks. And the one that I chose is the image gallery. So I want to start using the images throughout our website. So here there's just different images. Now images can be the trickiest thing when you're building websites, to be quite honest, because image sizing is everything. Because if you have different images with different sizes, it's going to come out a little distorted. So personally, when you're making your website, try to use the same image sizes. If you don't know how to do that, just go to Fiverr.com and hire someone to just help you size the images correctly, because I've built websites for a lot of clients and I've seen that they've given me like 50 images and they're all like, all of them they look very different and the site looks terrible. But the one that I chose was, let's see right here, this one right here called Image Gallery Carousel. So right here, I'll add this block to the page. All right, so you can see here how the gallery has been applied and people can actually go ahead and rotate and see all of our images like this right here. And when I click on one image, you'll see that the other images, they just kind of slowly go and they kind of keep showing. So that's pretty cool. So right here is the image carousel, and we can always go ahead and change the images right here if we want to do that. So just like before, if you want to add in your own image, here I'll click on add to the gallery and I can just, add in the stairs and add that to the gallery, and then insert this into the gallery. So here we can see the images slowly sliding, and then we're going to see the stairs just pop up right there. So that's pretty cool. So that's how you can display images on your gallery. And then right here, you have different options. So this is basically controlling this section right here. So for example, right here, we have navigation. Do you want dots or arrows? You want slides to show? You can show 3 images at a time, like that. Even 4 images at a time. But I think 1 was good. Yeah, that was good. And then right here, style. So remember, whenever you want to style this right here, this is the section that you're going to go to. So we can style this and we can change the size of this. We can change the color of it as well. And then there you go. So our navigation is now changing. And then for the images, we can have a border to it. So if you want to add in a border, we can add in a really cool border. So here we'll give the border a little bit of width. I'll click on link values together and I'll add in just like, I don't know, 10, just give you an example. And now you can see that we have this really nice border effect to our images like that. So there it is, that border. And we can also change the color to anything that you want. So something like that, it looks really cool. So that's how you can have a really nice gallery on your homepage. Next, let's add in a call to action. So when you're building your website, you kind of want to encourage people to, check out an offer or something like that. So right here on this plus icon, I'll click on this. I'll click on Elementor Elements, click on blocks again, and then we'll find the call to action module. Here it is, call to action. And they have a lot of different call to actions, and I chose this one right here, and I'll add this block to the page. You see the websites? You want to go ahead and kind of introduce different styles on every block. So we have this header section, which is look good, you know, and then we have this section, which looks good. This section, which, you know, it looks nice. And then we have this section. So essentially what you want to do is you want to go left to right, and then maybe like 3 columns, left to right, buttons in the middle. So for every section, if you had buttons in the middle, the site would look very ugly, you know, but since you change every section, the site looks a little different, and it just looks better than having just call to actions in the middle all the time. So right here, we have the button to the right. Right here, we have no background, no buttons. Here, we have buttons and a background, and you'll make it look a lot more professional than just having call to actions and buttons on every single page or section, because that looks really ugly. Now, I'm lazy, guys. I'm really lazy, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and we're going to paste this style right here. And then here, I'll make this center aligned, and then we're done. So this can be something like get 60% off. And then this can be something like talking about your service, and then this can link them to your contact us page. And if you want to build an e-commerce website, I have a full tutorial on that also. I'll put that in the description below as well. It's actually a really good video, and it's really easy to set up. So we added a call to action, which just adds a lot of different style. And since this is black right here, and I think that kind of matches the scheme of our website. So we have like a black, white, and gradient style. So I think right here, that just works just perfect. Next, we'll go ahead and add in the last section, which is the testimonial section. So I'll open this right here, click on this plus icon, and the Envato Elements. Under blocks, we will find testimonials. So right here, testimonial slider. Now at this point, guys, you are pretty much pros, and I think that now you can kind of go through these and pick something that matches for you. But I'm gonna go ahead and select this one right here. So add block to the page. And of course, this is using Elementor Pro, and we have Elementor Pro, so that's awesome. All right, and here we have the testimonial section. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and change this text to pop-ins, right? And I also want to go ahead and add in a different background. So here, pop-ins, and I'll go ahead and add in a different background. So if I open this right here, or close this, I mean, you'll see that the site has this kind of, I guess you want to say this like a pearl white background, and it looks like grandma's house, you know, it doesn't look that good. So we're going to change this here. So I want an all white, crisp, clean background. So right here on the dots, under the style, we'll click on image right here, and I'll select one of the images, and then I'll click on insert media. It's called white background in case you can't find it. And there you go. So I feel like this is a lot more friendlier, right? Now, another thing that I want to do is I want to change this to gradients. You know, I want to add this gradient. So what we can do right here is go back up here, and I'll copy this because I'm lazy, right? And I'll paste that setting right there. Paste that like that. There you go. So that looks a lot better. Now you'll notice right here how I didn't make this gradient. And the reason why is because we already have too much gradient. You know, we have gradient here, gradient here. Now when users scroll down and they see gradients very close, it looks tacky. So that's why I did not add the gradient there, because I'm a really good designer. So I know the rules of web design. So here we have this section right here. And if you want to adjust these tutorials, I'm sorry, these testimonials, right here under image 1, we have the image 1, and then right here would be the testimonial. Here you can put the name of the person and the title. So for example, right here, we have a picture of this girl right here. So what you can do is just click on choose image. We'll select, I don't know, we'll select this guy right here, enter that into media. And then here I'll put Darrel Wilson. And then for the title, CEO. So you see right here, Darrel Wilson, CEO. And then right here, you can just change the content of the testimonial to say, oh, this is the best tutorial on YouTube. I will give Darrel a like and a subscribe. And if I don't, then I suck. That's what you're going to put right there in the content section. And then right here under the style section, you can change the background color. You can change the image. You can go to the content, and you can kind of mess around with these settings, like by adding a gap or border radius. A border radius, guys, is essentially making it square or circle. So that's basically what that does. And then the content, you can change the content settings right here, such as the font and the typography and all of that really cool, fun stuff. So that's how you can add in testimonials. Now right here we have the bottom section. We can keep this or not. I'm gonna delete it just because I feel like it's too much content on the homepage. And then right here, I don't really want this either. The featured work, I do want this actually, but I want it up. So I'm gonna hold these dots and I'm gonna drag it up like that and drop it. All right, cool. And right here we have testimonials. Now I already have testimonials, so I don't really need this anymore. So if you want stars, you can just kind of drag them to different parts of your website. Like maybe I could drag them right there, and then I can align them to the center. And then right here, I'll just make them really big, you know, something like this. And there you go. So that's how we can add stars, but I don't want this section, so I'm gonna delete it. And then this section right here, I do want it. I think this is a good ending section, but I want to change this button to gradient. So remember how we did that? We can go to our button and we can copy this, and then I'll scroll down, and then we can go ahead and paste that style right there. And then we're done with our homepage. So now we can go ahead and take a look at our homepage. And you guys can see that the website looks amazing. So now you have this beautiful homepage that we created for the very first time. And for a beginner's standpoint, this is very impressive. So congratulations on the homepage. Now for the rest of the pages, I have templates for all of you. So I'm going to show you now how you can export your work and then how you can upload it to your website so you can use them on different websites or even different parts of your website. And don't forget, once you make the changes, you'll need to update it. So right here, I'll click on update. So here we have this pre-made template that the theme made for us already. However, I want to show you all how to import and export templates. So if you want to do this for other websites, or if you want to import a layout that you created on another website, let me show you how to do that. So in the description of this video, there's a link to my website, darrelwilson.com, and it'll take you to this page right here where you'll see Elementor layouts. Now, I'll just link you to the actual product in the future. So right here is the Elementor Web Agency Kit. So I'll click on this right here. So here is the actual complete website for you already made. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this, and then we're going to upload the templates throughout our website so you don't have to remake everything from scratch. So right here, you'll simply click on Add to Cart. Now, this is a free layout that I've created for you all, so it's not going to cost you anything at all. And then right here, you'll click on View the Cart. And right here, you'll click on Proceed to Checkout. And then right here, you'll just put in your first name and your email address. Here I'll put in Darrel. And then right here, I'll click on Place Order. All right, awesome. So once you download it, right here, it'll say Download Elementor Web Agency Kits. So click on that. So let's go back to our About Us page. And now right here, I'll click on Edit with Elementor. All right, and right here, I'll click on this plus icon. And I'll click on this right here, the gray folder icon. Now with Elementor, you do actually get pre-made blocks and templates as well. So right here is some blocks that you can get. Personally, I think that the ones that we use are a lot better. They're a lot more nicer, and these are just black and white. And although they can be decorated nicely, I feel that it would take a lot of work to make them look good. So that's why I didn't really include them. Right here is pages. You can use them throughout your website. And since you're a pro user, you get all of the pro templates. Now they do add a template every single month, so there will be a new template. So when I made this video, there was probably only like 4 or 5 templates, and they just added one this month, so that was pretty cool of them. So right here we have My Templates, and whenever you make a template, it's going to be displayed right here. So you can see here how there's some templates that we already have because of the Envato Elements plugin. Now right here, you'll see this little import template plugin, or import template button. Click on that. So this is where you're going to upload the file. Now there's a really cool shortcut on what you can do. So what I'll do is minimize this. And here is the Elementor Web Design Kits. I'll open this folder. And here are the files that I need. So I have the home, the contact, and the about us, etc. So what I can do here is just take this JSON, hold it, and drag it onto the page and drop it like that. Here, I'll make this a little bit smaller. I'll close that. Okay, so I uploaded the template, and this is what it's called right here. It's called the About Us agency. Simply click on Insert. So here you go. So now you have this fully functional About Us page that you can use on your website. So everything's fully designed. Now right here we have the Our Team section. So you'll see here how there's these 4 slots. So what you can do is you can insert your team right here. So you would just go ahead and upload the image that you can use for your clients or even your company, and then just upload them. So I'll just grab this girl right here and insert media. And then right here, we can do the same thing, and so on and so forth. So I purposely left out the images because, you know, if it's your team, I don't want to put the picture of other people because it's your company, right? So here I'll scroll down, and here we have partners. So here you can just add something if you want about your company or whatever you want to add about your partners. One thing I want to note that if you click on this right here, you'll see this image, but there's nothing there, and you'll see the actual PNG file. You can just delete it and it's gone. So sometimes when you're using Elementor and you export templates, you just get some weird stuff. You get weird errors. So just, there you go. It's all fixed. So that happens once or twice. And then scrolling down here, we just have this really beautiful call to action. And we have the original About Us page still here. So what you can do is just delete it. So right here, delete it, delete it, deletes, 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 and then you're finished. So you can scroll up and just take a look at your new websites. Of course, you might want to change the actual images here. We have this really cool feature where we actually hover over this and the crew actually moves. We'll talk more about that in the advanced features when we talk about advanced features of Elementor. And that's it. So now you have a beautiful About Us page that's already made for you. So right here, click on Update. So next, let's go to the Portfolio and the Contact Us page. Now there's a shortcut that I want to talk about. So if you hold Command and E, or for those of you using Windows and E, you'll notice this Finder box right here. And what you can do is navigate your website without having to exit out of a page and having to go and exit the builder. So I want to go to the Portfolio page. So I'll type in Portfolio, and just by typing in PORT, we have a list of pages. So right here, I'll click on Portfolio page. And there you go. So now it's actually navigating throughout our pages without us having to leave and exit the page, which takes a long time, and it can be a pain in the ass, you know, to be honest. So let's now upload that second template. So right here, plus icon, template. And then right here, I'll simply click on import templates. And then right here, we have the Portfolio page, and I'll click on open. So now it's importing the Portfolio page for us. All right, awesome. So you'll see right here, Portfolio page agency. Right here, click on insert. All right, awesome. So you'll notice right here, we have this portfolio section. We don't need it, so I'll close this. And then I'll scroll down right here, and you'll see that everything has been successfully imported. Everything looks really good. So right here, some images didn't show up. And if that happens sometimes, guys, you can just use the demo images. So for example, I'll click on the Andrea Velli, and then right here, choose the image. And then for example, I'll just select the girl, and there you go. Now right here, we don't need any of this stuff right here. So you can choose to keep this if you want, and you can, you know, drag and drop stuff. You can customize stuff. But for this video, I'm just going to get rid of it because I feel like this right here is just enough content for the portfolio page. We have the gallery right here of whatever I want to show. We have some more testimonials about how great it is. And then we have like, just go ahead and contact us. You don't want to overwhelm your clients or your website with a bunch of unnecessary stuff. So here, I'll click on updates. Now let's say, for instance, you made some changes to this, but you want to export it this time. So you want to have your own layout that you can use and upload it just like I did to you guys. So what I'll do right here is, right here we have save options. Right here, I'll click on save as templates. So this is going to be the tutorial template. So this is examples of if you want to take the work that you've done and export it and maybe apply it to a different part of your website. So right here, I'll click on save. Now right here on these dots, see these dots right here, how it says export? I'll click on export. So now what I've done is I've exported that layout onto a JSON file. So now I can take that same file and upload it on my website and just use it on any part of the website. So let's go ahead and go to the next page. So this right here is done. So we've done the portfolio page. Here, I'll open up the Finder by clicking on the Windows and E, or for those of you on Mac, Control, I think it's Command E. Yeah, Command E. So let's go to the Contact Us page now. Or there it is. Contact Us. Contact. Pretty cool. We don't have to keep exiting. I mean, that makes it really simple. But let's go ahead and upload that layout that we exported just to see if it's working, because maybe you want to see how I do it, and if there's a mistake, I don't want you guys to freak out and yell at me, you know? So let's go ahead and do that. So you don't have to do this. This is totally optional, but let me just do this really quickly for those of you who want to export, upload your layouts. So right here, I'll click on the folder, import layouts, select the file, and I'll select the file that I exported. All right, so here's the file that I exported. Now you might want to give it a name because it can be confusing. So right here, you can see I just actually exported that. So right here, I'll click on open. Now you'll see we have two files, the tutorial template. So I'm gonna actually insert that one right there. And there you go. So now we have that same page that we exported on our Contact Us page. Well, it looks like the image actually carried over there. So you see that? You know, sometimes guys, that just happens. You know, I don't know why, but let's actually now upload the proper page. So I'm gonna delete all this right here. So I'm gonna delete everything on the Contact Us page because I don't want it. And let's upload the Contact Us page that I gave you all. So same thing. And then here is the Contact Us page. Let's click on open. Scrolling down here, we have the Contact Us agency. And then I'll click on insert. And there you go. So now you have a beautiful Contact Us page already made for you, and everything is ready to go. So you can see here how the page looks great. And let's make this expanded a little bit so we can see what we're doing here. And there you go. So now we have the Contact Us. We have some information about the company. We have a beautiful contact form, and we have these happy people right here reassuring you that they are happy. All right, so let's now go ahead and test the contact form to see if it's working. So first, click on the contact form. Now you're gonna see email right here. So you have form fields, you have submit button. You can change the button, what it says, to a different color, or you can make it change to whatever you want. So right here is email. Now right here, it's going to this specific email, and it's going to tell you a message. So it's going to be from this email right here, and it's going to reply to that email as well. So go ahead and just put in the email right here as the email you want it to go to. So I'm going to put mine as, I'll do Darrel Porto@gmail.com, and I'll click on update. So next, let's test out the email. So I opened up my Gmail right here, and I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, and I'm going to submit a form on the contact form right here. Hey, what's up, man? And then I'll click on submit message. And then let's go to my email. And right here, you can see new message from my blog. And there you go. So, hey, what's up, man? And then there is the information. So now you can see how your website is connected to your email inbox. So whenever you want to receive messages, just make sure that you have this layout and it'll all work fine. So lastly, I'm going to show you all how to add pages and add them to the menu, because we didn't really cover that just yet. So right here, click on plus and click on page. So what I'm first show you all is how to make a blog page. So right here, blog. Click on publish and publish. Next, let's make another page. So I actually have to exit out. It's kind of annoying. They changed that in WordPress. So right here we have plus new and go to page. And we're going to do the pricing page now. And publish and publish. Here, I'll close this. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do is we're going to assign these pages to our menu. So right now, if I go to visit sites, you'll see that we have the home, the about, and portfolio and contact, but we don't have the blog or the other page on our menu. So let's add that. So there's a few ways on how you can add it. So right here, I'll go to dashboard. We have appearance and menus. So right here under pages, you'll click on view all, and you'll find the page that we made. So I'll select the blog page and add that to the menu. And here I can rearrange it by dragging and dropping. and then I'll click on Save Menu. And now I'll take a look at our website again. And now you'll see the blog page is there. So I'll click on the blog page, and of course nothing's there because we haven't added anything to the page, but that's okay. So we have another page, and let's add that to the menu through the theme customizer now. So this is an alternative way on how you can adjust things on your menu. Right here, we'll click on Customize. Now we're going to talk more about the theme customizer in just a little bit because there's a lot to cover with the theme customizer. But right here, we have a bunch of different options. So right here under menus, we have our menu right here. I'll click on the menu, and right here we can add an item. So I'll add an item to the menu, and here it lists our pages. So right here we have the pricing page. So I'm going to add the pricing page to our menu, and then here I can also rearrange it. And then click on Publish. And there is the pricing page. Next, let's actually apply our blog to our specific blog posts. So we're going to make posts in just a bit, but I need to tell the website where I want the blog post to be. So right here in our homepage settings, under Post Page, you'll select Blog, and then click on Publish. So now whenever you make a blog post, it's going to display on your blog pages. So right here, I'll click on Blog, and you'll see that there is some blog content right here. And it's really stylish. I really like this theme. It's really clean, really neat. So now that we have a blog page, let's first go ahead and upload the last part of our website, which is the pricing page. So right here, I'll click on Edit Page, because you'll notice Edit with Elementor is gone. And here you'll see Edit with Elementor. So if it's gone in the front end, it'll be in the front, or it'll be in the back end for sure. So one thing I want to note is that we have some options right now. So we made a page from scratch, but we need to actually adjust this right here. So we have the theme customizer settings. You can have it contained or full width. Also right here, we have the option not to have a sidebar. So if you don't want to use the theme customizer settings, you'll need to change it to full width. But right now we are using the customizer settings. So I'm going to leave it as customizer settings and click on updates. Right here, I'll click on Edit with Elementor so we can now design the page with the page builder. So same thing, guys, simple. Right here, I'll click on templates, my templates, import templates, select file, and then pricing page, and click on open. Here I'll scroll down, I'll find pricing page, and click on insert. All right, awesome. So now you can see that we have our pricing page here. So the pricing tables have been made for you. So for those of you who want to maybe become a web designer, here's some prices that you can charge. And I will be having a web design course coming out very soon, and I'll leave that in the description below this video for those of you who want to pursue your career in web design, because I myself did web design for, I want to say 3 to 4 years, and I met some crazy people. So right here, you can see here how some of these images didn't properly export. So what you can do again is just use demo images. So if that ever happens, just simply grab a demo image and there you go. I like Elementor because it really sizes the images very easily. So it's a lot of other themes have a lot of resizing issues, but Elementor just really does a good job at that. So there is the pricing page, and we are all set. So here, I'll click on updates. And at this point, you now have a fully functional website. So we have the home page, the pricing, the about us, the portfolio, the contact, and your site looks amazing. So one last thing we want to do before we jump into the theme customizer is I'm going to show you all how to create a blog page. So here you can talk about your feelings like, oh, my girlfriend sucks, or my boyfriend won't get a job, or whatever you want to talk about in your little world of whatever. So here under plus new, we'll click on posts. And this can be something like top 10 things women hate. Now, one thing to note here is that featured image, this is the image that your blog post is going to display. So whenever you see like people share stuff on Facebook and you see the image and the title, this is the image that you're going to make people see when they see your title. So right here, make sure it's something that, you know, correlates to something that you're talking about. So here, I'll just paste in some demo content, and then I'll click on publish. And here I'll view the post, and this picture is actually much better. So you can see here how it's it's bigger and it just looks a lot cleaner, and it's just a really nice looking blog post. So that's how you can make blog posts to your website. And under the blog section, every time you make a blog post, it's going to display right here. All right, awesome. So now we have a fully functional website. So let's move on to the next section where we're going to talk about the theme customizer settings. So theme customizer. Now every theme in WordPress has a theme customizer. So what a theme customizer does is that it controls virtually every part of the website that the page builder does not, such as the blog layout and the header and footer and other various parts of the website. So for example, right here we have layouts, and here we'll click on blog archive, and let's just go to the blog page really quick to give you an example. So here you can see the layout of the blog. Now you can change the layouts by clicking on these little icons, and it'll virtually change the style of the actual blog. So you can see here how the blog changes, and then right here the images are on other sides. Now right here you can actually take stuff off. So right here it says by admin and the date. You can simply just click on that and take those off. So now it doesn't display. So you can kind of go through this right here and mess around with these settings for the blog. Also right here for the single post as well. So for example, on the actual post itself, you can take off the title and the meta, the thumbnail, the content, the tags, and also the comments. I'm not sure why you want to take off the content, but for the people out there might want to. So if you want to adjust this, you can drag and drop it, or if you want to change anything, you can do that right here with the theme customizer. So let's go back here, and also right here for the container, you can change the actual width of the entire website by doing that. But I think most of us want to use the page builder for that. I don't really want to mess around with the width because we've already designed the website with the full width anyways. So let's click back right here and back. Now we have the header option. So you can actually build out a custom header with Neve, which is really, really cool. So let me just go ahead and explain how this works. So we have a top bar, we have a middle bar, and then we have the header at the bottom. So right here, click on the plus button. So right here we have 6 icons. So what I can do here is just add in something like HTML, and then just go ahead and put in whatever you want. So I can put in whatever I want. And here I can actually drag this like that. And I think I can even make it a little smaller too. So the header builder with Neve is incredible because you can actually just say, okay, I added that. Let's add in a button. And then right here, we can change the style of the button. Maybe put in a background of black, right? Something like that. Now, personally, I don't think it looks good there. And you know what? We need to change the actual text to white. That's really ugly. Ugh. Right? Or no. Oh, I think that's even worse. I think that's worse. Here we go. There we go, white. So what I want to do now is I want to take this button and put it behind the contact. So right here, I'll take the primary menu and I'll just shrink this down a little bit smaller. And here, I'll take the button and then just drop, wait, here we go. We got to make it a little bit smaller. And then, there we go, now it fits. You see how cool that is? So with this theme, you can just fully customize your menu any which way you want. Here we have the logo, site, and identity. So if you need a logo, there's a link in the description below to Fiverr.com. This website right here, these guys will make you a logo for like $5. It's really, really cheap. So right here, just type in logo. And I got my logo through Fiverr.com because they're really cheap and they're really good. So for example, right here, you can go ahead and go to budgets. Just type in $0 to $10, or $1 to $10, and then apply. And then people will make you a logo for as little as $10, and their logos are actually pretty nice. So if you want a logo, check out Fiverr.com. I'll leave a link in the description below to this website. It's really cheap. So here you can actually go ahead and remove it and upload your logo instead. And then you can go through these options right here and just mess around with it and change stuff. Now also right here, you see how the Fiverr has that green little circle? That's what the site icon is. So let me go and add one really quick. So I'll just grab in a demo one right here and go to crop image. So now on the top left right here, you'll see there's an image of the actual phone. So that's how you can have your own site icon. Here, I'll go back. So right now you can just kind of get an idea. So if you want a third menu right here, click on the plus button. And then here, maybe add in a menu icon. We can add in a search icon. We can add in a secondary menu and so on and so forth. So here, a search form, and then we can make this smaller. Now, I don't have a secondary menu created. So if you want a secondary menu created, just go to menus and then just create a new menu and add it as your secondary menu. So that's basically how you can kind of style your entire header. So here under style, you can change the typography. You can change the weight and the font size and everything else. So weight is just the size of the text. So you can make the text really fat, or you can make it really thin like that. So go ahead and go crazy, knock yourself out with these options, and you can have just a really cool looking header. Also right here, we have header presets. So this is something standard maybe. This is something where they create, and they're really good designers. So maybe you want to use their designs. So you can do that if you want to do that. I think that looks really clean. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what kind of header you guys like, all right? So let's go back over here. And here we have footer as well. So footer is the same exact thing, guys. It is the same thing as the header. So for example, right here, plus, here I'll put in footer 1. So here we have footer 1. Now, what do you want inside of footer 1? Well, let's add a widget. Right here, I'll add in a text widget. And here I'll put in about us. And then here you can put in some content about your company. Now let's scroll down right here to give us an example of what this is. So right here, about us. So I'll put in some demo content there. And let's add in a new widget. So right here, plus footer area 2. And then we can add in something else. So you can add in a menu, you can add in something else, but I'm gonna delete this and add in something else. Maybe you wanna add in a calendar, you know. And I'll drag that right there. And then right here, we can add in footer area 3. And then we can do something like a, you know, just like another text widgets. So, or a recent post. Now this calendar is way too big, so it's making our menu look a little ugly there. So I don't want that there. So we can delete that. And then right here, we can add footer area 4. And what I'll do here is I'll make this bigger. Now what we can do as well is we can install plugins that give us social icons. So let me click on publish here really quick. And let me go into the back end. Now you don't have to follow me here. I'm just giving you an example of if you want to add different stuff to your footer and header. So right here under plugins, you'll click on add new. Here I will type in simple social icons. Now there's a lot of plugins that you can use for social icons or header in the footer, and to be quite honest, it's really hard for me to give you advice. You'll just have to go through each one and just find out which one you like, to be honest. But right here, I'll install simple social icons and click on activate. All right, so let's go back to our theme customizer. So here I'll click on visit sites and go back to the theme customizer. I'll go to my footer, and then here under footer area 4, I'll add a widget. I'll scroll down, and now you'll see simple social icons. So I'll click on this right here, and now I can just add in the icons I want to the footer right here. So here you would put in your Behance URL or your URLs for Facebook pages or Flickr or something like that. And here I'll put like a follow us. So you can customize this by changing the colors and the background, but I'm just giving you an example of how you can add gadgets and widgets to your footer. So next we have typography. So this will actually change the fonts throughout your entire website. So right here under general, we have pop-ins. So you noticed earlier how we're building out our website that a lot of this was pop-ins, and that's because you can actually display a global font right here through the general and typography section. And then also for the heading, so once you have specific heading tags, you can display a specific font and style for those specific H1, H2, H3 tags, etc. So for example, this right here would be H1, this right here would be H2. So you can actually design everything and that apply to all of the H1 tags. And then over here under H2, you can design this, and this will be displayed through all of the H2 tags as well. So that's just it's another way how you can style and design the font on your websites. Here we have buttons. So earlier we saw we have the buttons at the top. So I took it out, but if you want to add buttons to your menu right here, this is where you can customize the buttons. So let's go back. Menus, we went through menus. Widgets, we talked about widgets. Homepage settings. Whenever you make a brand new website, you always need to select your homepage as your homepage, because you need to tell the website what is the main homepage of your website. And then for the post page, we set it to blog. And lastly, we have additional CSS, but this is more for developers and people who are serious web designers. So if you're a beginner, I really wouldn't worry about CSS right now. So I've made all the changes to my website, but I do want to change the header back. So right here under header, I'll go to header presets and change that. And then here, I'll click on publish, and that's it. So that is the theme customizer in a nutshell. All right, party people, in this next section, I'm gonna show you how you can optimize your website for all devices. So we're gonna optimize our website for tablet and also mobile devices. So on the bottom left of your screen right here, you'll see this responsive mode. So click on responsive mode. And here we have the desktop, the tablet, and the mobile. So right here, we'll first click on tablet and we'll optimize our website for tablet users. So right here, you can see that this is pretty standard. I don't really see anything that doesn't look like it needs to be optimized, except for this section right here. So we have this padding right here, and the text is kind of scrunched right here. So let's actually fix this. So the first thing I'll do is get rid of this padding right here. So here I'll click on these 6 dots, go to the advanced section, and here you can see tablet is selected. So right here, I'll just put 0, and then for the bottom, I'll put 0. And that got rid of the padding. Next, we have this text right here. So I'll click on the text. And I want to center align this. I want it to look a little bit more cleaner. So here under the style, I'll click on center. And then same thing here for the divider. We can center this. And the same thing here for the button. There we go. So this section looks pretty good. So let's keep scrolling down. Just keep scrolling. So as you go on through your website, you want to make sure that if you see something that doesn't look correct, make sure to fix it, because Google will actually rank your website on the search engine depending on how well your website is optimized for mobile. So it's very important. Now we have this section right here. So we have this text on the bottom that we really can't read, and then we have this image right here that displays first. Now personally, I think the text should display first, right? So let's fix this section right here. So right here, I'll click on these 6 dots. Next, I'll go to the advanced section and go to responsive. So right here, we have the option to reverse columns. So if I click on this right here, it's going to reverse the columns right here. So now the text displays first, and then the image displays, which is pretty cool. So you can see here how this looks pretty good, but maybe we want to center align this stuff. So it's very simple. So just like you edit it on the desktop, you would click on it and then center align. So you can see right here how it's selected for the tablets. And then right here, same thing. And same thing. Now remember, we're only making changes to the tablet version. We're not actually editing the website. So this is only for people who are coming to the website on tablet devices. All right, so that looks pretty much all good. Now this, maybe we don't need this image right here because, it's just, I don't know. I just don't want it. So let's actually hide specific elements for specific devices. So I'll click on this right here and go to the advanced section. Here under responsive, we have the option to hide on desktop, hide on tablet, and hide on mobile. So I want to hide this specifically on tablets and also mobile devices. So now the image is not displaying. So another thing that we can do is, if you have an image in the back that you just really don't feel belongs, we can actually change the specific background image for specific devices as well. So we have these mountains in the back, but quite frankly, maybe you just want a different color for mobile devices, right? So right here, I'll click on these 6 dots and we'll go to style. So right here, you can see that we have this selected. So there's a few ways on how you can do this. You can either upload an image to cover this one. So you can just upload a second image, or you can go to background overlay and add in a specific color and then increase the opacity to 1. So let me give you an example. So here, I'll click on classic, color, and I'll just put something like white. So you can see here how the mountains are starting to fade out, but they're not completely faded out yet. So right here under opacity, I'll drag this to 1, and now the mountains are gone. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this. So if you want to upload a white background, you can do that. Or if you just want to have a color and increase the opacity as well, you can also do that as well. So I think this section is done. And the best thing to do is to get on your phone and just go to your website and just see how it looks like on your mobile device. So next we have the gallery section, and then we have this call to action. So there's a few ways on how we can optimize this. You know, we can even disable the gallery section. Maybe you don't want it to display the images on mobile. Or what we can do is add in some margin right here to actually make this not so close to each other. So right here, I'll click on this column. Under the advanced section, under margin, I'll add in some margin right here. I'll add in like a 20 pixels. So you can see here how this is starting from a lower point now. So I could even go to something like 50. So right here you can see that now we're actually creating space. So if I take this off right here, you'll see how it gets closer. So if you want to actually use margin, oh, that's too much space. So there we go, 50. Now you can see how it's just kind of like a little, you know, a little waveform. Or what you can do is click on this column, and then you can actually optimize this entire column. But that'll be a lot of work, and I'm not going to do that, but I'm just giving you an example. You can either optimize this column, or you can push this away and, you know, leave it at that. Scrolling down here, this right here looks pretty good. I don't really see anything we need to change. The testimonial section looks good, and I think that looks all good right there. So yeah, so our website basically looks just fine on the home page. So what you want to do is you want to go through all of your pages, and you'll want to go ahead and optimize your website for specific devices. So we optimized our website for the tablet. Let's quickly go ahead and check out the phone. So right here we have mobile. So click on mobile. All right, let's scroll back up. Okay, so there's a few things that we need to change right away. So this title is way too big. So let's actually change the text of the size of the text right here. And here we'll click on headline. Under typography, we can change this. So right here you can see how it's set for mobile. Something like that, right? Something like this. And then here, we can just disable this actually. You know, I don't really think we even need this. So what I'll do is go to the advanced and responsive, and I'll just disable this. You know, I just really feel like we don't need this text. You know, it's just really not important. We just want to see the title and then maybe learn more or hire us. Also, this background is too much. This background is taking away a lot of the emphasis from the text. So let's disable the background. So right here, I'll click on the buttons. We have the style. And then what we can do here is, you know, I left this on the whole video. Should probably change that. So what we can do is the same thing for background overlay. We can just go ahead and add in a white background overlay, or we can do the same thing we did for the tablet one. So we can either add another white background image, or we can add an overlay. Just depends on what you want to do. So here I'll put white, and I'll increase the opacity. So I feel like this will be a lot better than what we had before. Scrolling down here, you can see here how there's still padding for the actual mobile. So that's why you always want to keep checking to make sure that there's everything looks good. And what we can also do here is maybe center align this, but that's strictly up to you. You can go for this look where it's against the wall kind of, or you can actually center align it. So here you can see that this is center aligned. So what we can do is probably center align this, or we can just disable this section just to say, you know what? I don't want to mess with everything. So this one section is making my site look a little tacky. So right here, I'll just disable this section as well. So right here for responsive, we can hide this as well. Scrolling down here, this all looks pretty good. Text looks good. This section right here, we're actually disabling that on mobile, and that's good because it's just a lot of empty space. That looks really good. Gallery looking good. Everything's looking good so far, and I think that is pretty much it. Yeah, that's good. So you want to make sure that every single page is optimized for mobile users, because Google is very serious about it now, because again, you know, there are more mobile users than desktop users now. So having an optimized website is crucial in this business. So I basically covered how you can optimize your website for tablet and mobile devices. Let's now talk about the more advanced features and what Elementor Pro can really do. So next, let's talk about the more advanced features of Elementor, like the Elementor Theme Builder, which I'm pretty sure you've probably heard a lot about. The Elementor Theme Builder allows you to have a specific header and footer that you can custom build, ignoring the theme customizer settings. So let's create a custom header and footer for our websites. So right here, I'll go to my blog and go to Dashboard. So here I'll scroll to Templates and click on Theme Builder. Next, I'll click on Header. And now I want to apply a specific header throughout my website. So here, I'll click on Add New Header. And you can give your header a name, but I'll just leave it blank for now, and click on Create Template. So here's a list of headers that we can use that we can customize throughout our website. So what I'll do is just grab this one right here and click on Insert. So here we have this menu that we can fully customize. So I can control the menu. I can even add additional elements to it. Like if I want a button below the phone number, here I can center it and I can make it smaller. So here we can actually go ahead and fully customize the header. So you can go ahead and mess around with these settings on your own free time. We can change the color, we can change the fonts, we can build whatever we want, just like any other page. So the header is basically what you're building on the specific page. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say publish for now and click on publish. And now we wanna go ahead and display conditions. So where do I want this header to be applied on my websites? So right here under add condition, I can simply just click on entire sites, or I can get a little bit more customizable. Maybe I only want this on specific pages. So right here, I can click on singular, and right here under all singular, I can select pages, or I can select posts, or I can select whatever else I want to add, maybe just a 404 page. So right here under pages, we have, okay, what pages do you want to apply this header to? Well, here I can put my home page, right? Now, if I want to display this on another part of my website, I can simply click on add another condition and include this on another page. So for example, here, I'll add it to my contact. All right, and here I'll click on save and close and then update. So now let's actually take a look at our website. So right here, I'll go to view page. Here I'll click on home. And there you go. So now we have this custom header being applied on our websites. However, if I click on something like the About Us page, it's going to be the default header, because remember, this header is only being applied to the home and the Contact Us. So that's it. So that's how we can kind of have a custom header throughout our website. So usually people would probably want to select entire website, because you really wouldn't want to have a different menu for different pages. I mean, you can, and some websites do, but for the average person, I don't think we would have multiple menus for different pages. But with the theme builder, you can do that. So you can totally build a custom menu with the theme builder. So I've showed you all how to create a custom header, but right here, if I scroll to the bottom right here, you'll notice that we have this really ugly footer that doesn't really match with the header. So let's fix that. So let's add a custom footer. So right here, I'll go to my dashboard, go to templates and theme builder. So here is the header that we created. Now right here under footer, we can go ahead and create a custom footer. So I'll click on custom footer and click on create a template. The theme builder is actually very important for a lot of pages that you can't customize. So as you're installing plugins like WooCommerce and also Lifter LMS or Learning Dash Courses or something like that, you can't customize those pages. So you want to use the theme builder for pages that you can't normally decorate or design with the actual page builder. So here we can go ahead and select the footer for our website. So you can go ahead and just grab a pre-made templates, because we're using the Pro version, and the Pro version, we get all of these all for free, which is really, really cool. So right here, I'll just click on this one right here and click on insert. And we can design this and customize it any which way we want. So we can click on these dots right here, and we can go ahead and change the color of it and vice versa. But I just want to publish this right now. So publish, add a condition, And I want to display this on the entire website. You know, I don't think we would need different footers for different areas. And as you're creating your website, guys, keep it simple. Don't get too crazy and start having different headers and footers for different pages. That is a quick way to make your website look terrible. So let's take a look now at our website. So here we have the header, and if I scroll down here, we now have a custom footer. So this right here replaced the theme footer, and now we have this as our specific footer. And right here, if I go to the blog page and scroll down, you'll see that it is the same applied as well. So if you want to go ahead and apply this throughout your entire website, you can also use the theme builder to decorate your header and footer areas. Another thing to note is that the Elementor Elements plugin also has a library of headers and footers that we can use and add to our library. And if we scroll down right here, we'll see header and footer. So right here, I'll take a header, and here we have a list of more headers that we can use throughout our website. So I'll just go ahead and grab one really quick. So right here, I'll take this one right here and click on import to library. All right, now we can go ahead and edit this right here. So click on edit template. So here we actually have the header now. So here you can go ahead and fully customize and design the header. So this is where you would go ahead and make changes to it and whatever else you want to do. So right here, maybe we need to actually make a little bit more space. It looks a little bit too scrunched. So what we can do here, there we go. So now that looks a lot better than what it did before. Here, I'll click on update. Now let's apply this to our website. And here we have the templates being applied on our websites. So let's make another one. So right here under header, I'll click on add new. And this will be the new header. And click on create a template. So right here, I'll go to my library. And the one I used was called header with nav, which is this one right here. So let's go ahead and preview that just to make sure. And that is the one that we were using. So right here, I'll click on insert and then click on yes. All right, perfect. So here, I'll click on publish. Now right here, a lot of condition, and I'll apply this to the entire website. So next we need to go ahead and disable the other theme builder because the other theme builder is being applied on the home and the contact us page, remember? So let's disable that. So right here, I'll go to exit to dashboard. Under theme builder, we have header. This one right here, I'll just go ahead and trash this. I don't want it no more. There you go. Now let's take a look at our website. All right, awesome. So now we have our new menu being applied on our website. So here we can go to the home, the blog, the contacts, and everything looks really, really good. So this is why the theme builder is so crucial because it allows you to have a custom header and footer throughout your website that you can fully customize. Next, let's talk about the blog page. So the blog page you can fully customize with the Elementor theme builder as well. So right here, I'll click on this. And this right now is your default templates, but wouldn't it be cool if we can make a template that we can use every single time we make a post? We can do that with the theme builder. So let's do that. So right here, I'll go to dashboard. And here, I'll go to templates and click on theme builder. And right here, we have single. Here, I'll click on add new single. And right here, it's saying select the post type. So I'll just say for every single post I make. And click on create template use on our website. And the cool part is that this has dynamic content. So you might have heard dynamic content before and not understood what it means, but dynamic content is basically having the ability to change the title depending on what you're talking about. So for example, I'll select this one right here and I'll click on insert. So this right here is our new title. So you can see here how it's pulling the other information. So here I have the image from my old blog post, and then I have the exact same style and format for my blog posts. So this is what it means by having your content update dynamically. So right here, I clicked on title, and you can see here how it's being the post title. So for your future blog post, whatever you talk about, the title is going to dynamically update to your new title. The same thing right here for your featured image. So your featured image will dynamically update to whatever you're talking about. So let's go ahead and make a new post to give you an example. So I'll click on publish right here. Now for the post conditions, I want this to be on all of my posts and click on save and close. All right, awesome. So let's make a brand new post. So here, first I'm gonna go ahead and disable this sidebar. So let's give this a name. This is an amazing tutorial, right guys? Right? Yeah, you better hit that like button. So right here we have the featured image. So I'm gonna add a featured image here. So I'll just put in something like this guy right here. Yeah, this guy right here. And then here, I'll paste in some demo content. And then paste a little bit more. And we are all ready to rock and roll. So here, I'll click on publish. Now let's view the post and see what dynamic content has done and how it's being applied to our post. All right, cool. So you can see here how it's dynamically updating all of our content. So it's taking the format of the post that we selected and it's inserting our content here. So here we have the featured image, we have a post, and then we have our content, and then we have the social icons at the bottom, and then people can comment, which is really, really cool. The theme builder also allows you to customize other parts of your website like the category pages, the blog archive pages, and also 404 pages as well. So you can have a lot of customization with the Elementor theme builder. All right, so let's talk about another Elementor Pro feature, pop-ups. If you want to add pop-ups to your website, in this part of the video, I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now you can add pop-ups on virtually every part of your website. You can also put pop-ups depending on what your visitors do. So that's really interesting. So let's go now and apply a pop-up to our website. So right here, we'll go to dashboard. We'll scroll down till we find templates and click on pop-ups. So here I have a pop-up, but I'm going to delete this one. And I'm going to start from scratch with you guys. So right here, I'll click on add a new pop-up. And then you give your pop-up a name if you want to do that. But here I'll just, no name for my pop-up. Just create a template. And then here we have like a list of pop-ups that you can use throughout your website. So you can kind of go through these and check them all out. So they have tons of them and they're really nicely designed to look pretty cool. So I'll just grab this one right here and I'll click on insert. So you can fully customize and design your pop-up just like you do any other page. So right here under the little dash icons, you can go ahead and add stuff to your pop-up and you can build it how you want it to look. So, you can do that on your own time and, you can have fun and you can go crazy and all that stuff. So let's just say, for example, I'm done designing my pop-up. So I'm done designing it and I want to publish it on my website. So right here, I'll click on publish. And right here we have conditions. So where do you want this to be displayed at? Well, I wouldn't put it on every single page because that can get really annoying really fast. But here we can click on this and go to singular and you can apply it to specific pages. So if you're a blogger, maybe you want to put it on your posts. If you are someone that's just selling a service, maybe you want to put it on your homepage. So for this example, I'll just select pages and then I'll just select the homepage. All right, so I have the pop-up being displayed on this page right here. So right here, I'll click on next. Now we need to go ahead and say, okay, so it's being displayed on the home page, but how do you want it to be displayed? So we have it on the page load. So whenever the page loads, I can say as soon as the user is on the website for 5 seconds, I want the pop-up to be displayed. Or I can say, I want it to be displayed on the scroll when the user is scrolling down 50% of my page. So when the user hits 50% of your website going down, it'll display the pop-up. Or you can have it on scroll to elements, on the click, after inactivity, or on page exit intent. And this is actually a pretty cool one for sales. So when the user's actually going away to click off their browser like this, you can actually display a pop-up saying, hey, wait, don't leave yet. We'll give you 30% off, something like that. So you can apply this to people who are leaving your websites. And then if they're inactive, if they're just not doing anything, you can say, hey, are you lost? And give them a pop-up if they're lost or whatever you want to do. So you can kind of go through these and strategize your little marketing campaign and find out how you can make people stay on your website using pop-ups. So right here, I'll just say page load. We'll just keep it simple. And then I'll click on next. And here you have some advanced rules. So you can go through these on your own time, like, show on specific devices, etc. How many times per person. So you go through these and have fun and knock yourself out. But right here, I'll click on save and close. Are you guys ready? Let's take a look. So here, I'll click on that and go to exit to dashboard. And I will now view the websites. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, see that? 5 seconds. So it is right on time. So now we have this pop-up where people can go ahead and put in their email address and subscribe, and you are all ready to rock and roll. So this is how you can add pop-ups to your website, and this is exclusive for Elementor Pro. So it's an amazing feature. And if you're using Elementor Pro, which I think most of you are, I highly recommend to add pop-ups to your WordPress website. Next, we're going to talk about a feature called the Elementor theme style. So wouldn't it be cool if you can design your entire website with one little area? Well, with the Elementor theme style, you can. So here you can notice that we have these really weird dash things above all of my images, and that's because I'm using the Elementor theme style. So right here I have the Elementor menu, and I'll click on the hamburger menu, and then right here we have the theme style. So click on theme style. So what the theme style does is that this allows you to customize your entire website with this section right here. So this way you can actually customize everything on your website without having to do it individually. So let me give you all a crash course of the Elementor theme style. So the Elementor theme style allows you to basically change all the elements on your entire website from one location. So here I'll change the letter spacing in the font, and I'll also change the color. Now these changes are being applied throughout the entire website. Next, I'll change the color of the button and the radius, and all of the buttons on my website will be changed. Here we have the form field. So this is going to apply changes to all of the contact forms on my entire website from one location. And lastly, right here, images. So if you want to change all of the images on your website, these changes right here will be applied to all of the images. So here you can see I can style it differently. I can add some saturation and some hue and just give my images a different look on the website. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at typography. So for example, right here, if I want to change the body text of the entire website, I can do it from the theme style. So right here under typography, if I click on this and change the font family to something like, I don't know, what should we do? Let's gamble here. Let's do, I don't know, Atma. You'll notice how the font changes for the entire website. So it's going to apply through all of the body paragraph, which is pretty cool. So with the theme style, you can decorate and design your entire website with this area right here. But I'll leave this blank. I think Atma's, that's not a bad font, that's actually really cool, and I might actually use that in my next video. To be honest, that's pretty cool. So that's how you can design the typography. But what about something like the images? So with the images right here, maybe I want to add in something like I don't know, a dashed border. We can add a dash border and make it black. All right, so now I'm applying a border to all of my images. So let's go ahead and find some images here. So here we go. We have some images, and now it's being applied to all of the images throughout our website. So this is a pretty cool feature here, and we can change the color of this to something else. So any image that you have on your website that you apply it, or any image module, I should say, that you can go ahead and design it right here with the actual theme style. All right, guys, in this section, I'm going to talk to you about the Elementor Pro widgets. I'm also going to talk about some additional things that we didn't really cover, like global styles, etc. So let me just give you a rundown of everything so far. So these right here are the basic elements with Elementor. So these are in the base free version that you get with Elementor. Here is the Elementor Pro widgets. So every single widget does something different. And personally, I think at this point, it's just kind of like trial and error. So for example, posts. These will display your blog posts. So if you just drag and drop it, it'll then go ahead and display your blog posts. And then here you can change the style. Here you can change the actual, the color. You can add a background color to it or whatever you want to do. So at this point, guys, it's just trial and error. So just go ahead and experiment with the widgets and just go through each one to see what's for you and what looks good on your websites. And then here we have animated headline. And then also we have the, what is this? Pricing tables or call to action pricing tables. There you go. So at this point, you guys kind of understand a little bit about that, and you can kind of, have fun on your own time, right? So let's keep scrolling down here. So we have the Pro Elements right here. And right here under the general section, we also have additional elements. So here you can kind of go crazy and you can mess around with these and have fun and just see what works for you. Now scrolling down here, we have additional widgets as well. So we have this free widgets, and then also for the sites, we have additional site widgets. And then also here for single, which this is for the blog posts. So you can go ahead and customize basically every part of your website. So this would be something maybe for the theme builder, right? And this would be something for like a blog post. So blog or post title, post excerpt, etc. These right here are free widgets that you get when we installed that plugin earlier. And this right here is also free widgets that you get when we installed the Neve theme. Now, when you're using WordPress, you're going to be installing plugins and you're going to be using themes. And sometimes these themes and plugins will give you additional elements for Elementor. Sometimes they might even compete with Elementor Pro. So for example, right here, the Orbit Fox add-ons also has pricing tables. So let's take a look at their pricing tables. Of course, they're going to look different, but here you can see this is Elementor Pro's table, and then this right here is Neve's pricing table. So when you're using WordPress and you install plugins, you're gonna get like there's so many plugins out there with add-ons for Elementor. There's probably like maybe 200 plugins that give you additional elements and add-ons for Elementor. Also, a lot of themes out there also do offer elements for Elementor as well. So there's some on Theme Forest, but personally, I think all you need is the Pro version. Don't overthink it. Don't try to get too crazy, because that's a quick way on how to make your website look really terrible. So I will be talking more about that in my web design course that I have coming up soon. And then also right here, we have the WordPress base widgets. So these are like the default widgets that you get with WordPress. And quite honestly, they're really poorly designed and they're really ugly. And I just really wouldn't use them on my websites. But I'll just go ahead and give you an example really quick. So here I have the navigation menu. I'll just drop it in there. I'll select the menu and then put menu. And there you go. So now we have the menu. And you know, you really can't style this, and it's really not that good looking, and you don't have a lot of customization. That's why a lot of people don't like using the WordPress default widgets, because there's not a lot you can do. Also right here we have simple social icons. So this is from the actual plugin. Remember how we installed the plugin? So if you sometimes install a plugin, you will get granted more elements that you can use with the page builder. And since there's, like I told you before, maybe 200-300 plugins, it's really up to you to kind of go through and see which one you like, test them out, because even myself, I use plugins sometimes and then they break or they just suck, you know, or something like that. So that's just a general overview of the elements and everything else on Elementor. Also right here, we have global, and you'll see global right here. And for you, it'll be completely empty. So for example, right here, I have this one element. So whenever you want to assign a global element, which is pretty simple, let's say, for instance, I have this pricing table, right? And I want to take this pricing table and save it, and I want to apply it on different parts of the website. So let's do that. So here I'll put Darrel Wilson, and then I'll right click on this element and I'll click on Save as a Global. And then here I'll put Darrel's pricing table and then click on Save. Essentially what this is, you're basically creating a template, but in a much faster version. So here I'll scroll down to the bottom of the page and I'll just drag in this new element, and there you go. So now I have this element that I can use throughout the website. So that's really cool. It's very, it's quick. And if you want to go ahead and edit it, you can click on edit and then edit it. However, this is a global widget. So remember, it's going to apply to all of the elements. So that's actually a quick way on how you can edit your website. So for example, right here, if I click on edit and put Darrel, or put, I don't know, Jessica Wilson, and then click on updates. If I scroll to the top right here, you'll now see that Jessica Wilson is being applied right here because it's global and it's affecting every single element. So it's a pretty quick way on how to edit your website. Next, let's talk about these bottom icons. So right here it says preview changes. Here you can just click on it and I'll just give you an example of the page. Right here we have the responsive mode, which we're going to talk about in the responsive section. Here we have history. So again, you can go back to any part of the process of you building your website, and then you can, like, okay, I made a mistake back here. I'll go back here and then I can work from here. So it's just basically allowing you to go back. And then right here we have the navigator. Now I didn't really talk about the navigator that much. Quite honestly, I like the navigator, but I just don't really think that you're going to use it all the time. However, people out there all like their own little thing and they all like to do it their own style. So what the navigator is essentially, it's just displaying your website in a small navigator way. So for example, right here, if I want to go ahead and say, you know what, I want to go to the top section really quick. And then I want to click on this column right here. and I want to edit it right here. So the navigator is essentially just allowing you to edit everything through a navigator point of view. So if you like this style, if you want to go ahead and say, oh, I got to edit this section here on the bottom, the pricing tables, just click on the section. But this is a quick way on how you can kind of just see everything through a navigator point of view, click on it, and then edit it like that. So that's what the navigator is. Also, if you hold Control E, the Finder will display, and this way you can navigate throughout your website. And maybe you want to go to the home page, you can click on Home, and then just click on Home, and it'll take you to the home page without you having to exit the builder, go to the menu, click on Home. So it's a very fast way that you can navigate throughout your website. So next on the bottom left right here, we have settings. So here we have the title, the status, the featured image, and then hide title and the page layouts. So this right here is the title of the page. Status is saying, okay, the page is live right now. Do I want to make this page private or pending review or draft? If you select any of these three, the page will no longer be available for viewers or people visiting your websites. Featured image, I wouldn't use it. It actually depends. So when you share something to Facebook, you can actually use this as your featured image. And if you share this specific page, this will actually be shown. Now there's also SEO plugins that do this a lot. I guess you want to say better. So I probably wouldn't use the featured image, but if you aren't using an SEO plugin, I would use this. So maybe you want to add in an image. So if someone shares it to Facebook, they'll see that image instead. I do have a tutorial on Yoast SEO, so I'll leave that in the description below if you're interested. Hiding title. This will hide the title of the page. However, most themes out there offer this feature, but if your theme does not, you can hide the title of the specific page. This right here is pretty important, the page layout. So you're going to see that there is the default, Elementor Canvas, Elementor Full Width, and then the theme actually offers its own page layout. So Elementor right here offers a default layout. So a default layout is just default. So it's just basically whatever the theme settings are, that's really what it's going to apply to. So here we have the page title, the menu, and then the content in the middle. And then here we have the the footer as well. So right here under settings, we have other options like Elementor Canvas. Elementor Canvas is pretty interesting. It'll actually disable all of the theme features on your website and only have Elementor being applied on your website. So for example, you've noticed that the header is gone. Scrolling to the bottom, the footer is gone because we are only using at this point the page builder. So with the Elementor Canvas, it disables all of the theme features, so you're only using the Elementor page builder. Here we have Elementor Full Width. This right here is pretty standard. Here we have Elementor Full Width. Now the Elementor Full Width is probably a very standard way of building your website. So it's going to display the header and the footer, and it's also going to make your content full width like this. So this is a pretty standard way on how to build your website. To be quite honest, Page Builder Full Width Neve, guys, there's themes out there that offer all sorts of different styles, so I really can't say I know what I'm doing, but I would probably just stick with the Elementor Full Width. So I would just, I would say, I don't want to go with that. I'll just go with the Elementor Full Width. It's a lot cleaner and easier. So those are basically all the general settings here at the bottom. At the top right here, so here we have global styles. So global styles are essentially basically acting as the theme. So remember earlier how Neve actually has global defaults and colors and fonts? If you want to have Elementor apply global default and colors, you can actually go ahead and go to their settings tab, and right here under disable default colors, we can actually disable Elementor's default colors and use the theme. If you want to use Elementor as a default color, we can go ahead and uncheck these boxes right here and click on Save Changes. So here again, I'll click on Default Colors, and now you'll notice right here that we can actually have Elementor kind of style our website, which is really, really cool. So here we can kind of get some ideas and color palettes from the actual Elementor color palettes. And then here you can kind of go ahead and have fun and go crazy with all of this stuff right here. So right here, we also have default fonts. So for example, if you want all of your primary headlines to be something like Roboto Condensed, you can do that. If you want your secondary headlines to be something like Rock Salt, you can do that. So see here how it's only changing the secondary headline. So if you want to use this to basically style your entire website, you can do that. In fact, I recommend it because this will be a lot easier and faster. So For example, make all of your primary headlines open sans, and then make this one Arial, and then make this one Roboto or something like that. So you can see here how you can quickly style your entire website using the global styles. So here we have editing handles, and if I turn this on, so right here you can see that we have these 3 elements right here. And if I turn this on right here, you'll see that now we can go ahead and even duplicate it. So I believe what it does is that it just allows you to see your website in a lot easier fashion. So it highlights everything and it brings up every option when you hover over an element. So that's pretty much for the overview of Elementor Pro widgets and all of these settings. So let's go on ahead and move on to the next section. Next is a really cool feature that you can apply throughout your entire website called motion effects and mouse clicks. So right here we have this image, and then you can see here how it's rotating depending on where my mouse is. Now you can apply this to specific images. You can also apply this to specific backgrounds as well. So let me show you how I did this. So right here, I'll go ahead and open up the builder. So you click on an image and then go to the advanced section. Here we have mouse effects and mouse track, and then we have 3D tilt as well. We also have the entrance animation, which you can apply on virtually every single element. So right here, I'll turn this off, and you'll notice that the image now doesn't make any movement. So right here, I'll turn on the mouse effects. The mouse effects are best ideal for images or something that is already on the page. So for example, right here, under mouse track, we can have something like opposites or direct, and this will actually follow the mouse like that, or we can go ahead and choose opposite, which will go away from the mouse. And then here, we can control the speed of it. So if you want it to be faster and longer, we can always do that as well, which is really, really cool. So that's an example of mouse track, and you can apply this on virtually every single part of your website, which is really, really cool. So you can see how you can have tons of fun and you can go crazy and have a lot of fun. Now that's mouse effects. So we also have scrolling effects, but I think scrolling effects is best applied to something like titles, and it's also best applied to the background images. So for example, right here, I'll select this title right here and go to advanced. Here we have motion effects, and then here I have scrolling effects. So here we have the vertical scroll, we have horizontal, transparency, rotate, blur, and scale. So for example, we can just go ahead and mess around with these settings right here. So here I have the direction is up, and I have the speed set to something like 5. So what happens here is if I scroll down the page, it's going to scroll up into the place as I scroll, and then we have that effect like that. Now if I select down, it's going to have the opposite effect. So it's going to actually go down as the page scrolls down, which is really, really cool. Now this is actually best applied to something like background images maybe. So you can see here how it's being applied for the text. But here I'll take this off, and I think something like transparency is pretty good, or blur for text. So here we have blur. Now here we have the fade in. So as I scroll down, it's going to fade in. So here we have the level. Maybe I want to reduce the level or increase the level. And then also here we have the bottom viewport and then the top viewport. So this is basically saying where does the top want it to start, and then where does the bottom want it, or where is the bottom going to fade it in. So the best way to learn, guys, is just by trial and error. So just mess around with the settings and get comfortable. So here you can see how it's being blurred in, and there it is. So here maybe I want to go ahead and just let's see here if I can do it like that. That makes more sense. So 52 to 0%. So here if I scroll down, there it fades in perfectly. So that's a really cool effect. And you can apply this to virtually every part of your website. Now let's say, okay, so I know how to apply it to images and titles. Let's apply it to the background. So here I'll click on these dots, and here we have motion effects. So I'll turn this off and then turn it on again, just to make sure everything refreshes. So here we have horizontal and vertical. In fact, you can turn on both. So what I'll do here is I'll say, look, I want it to scroll horizontally to the right as I scroll down on the page. I want it to go, let me close that. I want it to go up as I scroll down on the page. So let's see how this works. So right here, it's scrolling up and to the right, and then it falls into place like that. So next we have scale. So what we can do here is scale it. So we can scale it up. So if I scroll down, you'll see how it kind of scales into it, and then it'll go back down like that. So There's just so many different ways on how you can customize this and make it look how you want it to look. So maybe even scale down. So maybe right here we think, oh my gosh, this page is too big. But if they scroll down, it shrinks into play. And you can see how we can use it in conjunction with other effects. Now, personally, I wouldn't go too crazy with this because this is something called JavaScript. And the more JavaScript you have, the more slow your website will be. So you can add motion effects here and there, but just be mindful and don't add too much because then your site might get a little slow. So at this point, you guys are professionals. You guys are really, really good. And you can see the power that you have with Elementor Pro. Now, I do want to show just a few more features, like 1 or 2 more features before I let you go. So keep watching, just bear with me here. I want to make sure that you understand everything that you get with Elementor Pro because it's an incredible page builder. So right here we have Elementor and we have Role Manager. So click on Role Manager. So if you have other people building your website, you can actually choose them and you can actually apply specific roles. So for example, we have Editor. What can the editor do? Right here, I'll open this. You can say you have no access to the editor or access to edit content only. Same thing for contributor, the author, etc. So how do you actually have people sign up and how do you actually have, assign them? So right here is your users. And this is all of the users. So here you can actually add users. So right here, you can add a user. And let's say you hire someone to actually help you out with your website. So you can go ahead and put, tats@aol.com. And then you can make them something like we'll make them a editor. All right. And then here, I'll add the user. All right. So here I have a new user and this person got an email and it's going to go to their email and they can go ahead and log in to your website. So now we actually see that they are an editor. So now that's where this comes in again and we can go ahead and use the role manager and saying, okay, so I hired someone from Fiverr to build my website or to help me with my website, a developer, in fact. You can go ahead and say, I only want this guy to have, he can edit the content. That's it. That's all he can do. He can't do anything else. So that's a really cool feature that you can have with the role editor. Now, lastly, your website might break sometimes, and that's just how WordPress is, guys. So if your website ever breaks when you update something, so for example, if your website looks perfect, right? So it looks great, but then you update Elementor and then your site breaks and you're like, oh my God, my site broke. And that's like the worst thing that can happen. Trust me, it happens to me all the time. There's a feature called Elementor version rollback. So let me go ahead and show you what that is. So Elementor will update and your site may crash eventually. Now, I can't guarantee you that it will or won't. Usually it does not, but there are maybe the 5% people where your website will crash because maybe you're using a plugin that's not compatible with Elementor or whatever the reason. So here we'll go ahead and go to Elementor and click on Tools. So here you have some just general options where you can go ahead and run Elementor in safe mode. And then here you have some other options that you might not need, like maintenance mode, where you can go ahead and run your website in maintenance mode, and you can go to these settings. So here you have some general options like regenerate CSS, you can sync your library, you can turn on safe mode on your website, and then also you have maintenance mode, so you can go ahead and choose maintenance mode. So that'll basically just cut off people from visiting your website. But right here we have version control. So if your website ever breaks, you can go ahead and actually roll it back to a other version. So let's say, for instance, you used Elementor version 2.9.3 and then you updated to 2.9.7 and it crashed. Well, you can always go back. You can also become a beta tester. Now, this again is not recommended on live websites, but Elementor always has new features coming out all the time. So as you're watching this video right now from probably 6 months to a year, they're going to have a lot more features than they do when I made this video. And I'll update it and make a new one, of course. But you can always opt in to be a beta tester if you want to do that. But right here, I'm just giving an example. So if your pro version, crashes on 2.9.2, you can go ahead and roll it back to 2.9, etc. So that's just a way on how you can protect your website, because sometimes you're using these plugins right here. Sometimes you will come into plugin conflict, and that's just part of WordPress. So for example, maybe this guy right here doesn't update his plugin for a new version of WordPress, and these plugins do, then this plugin right here might conflict with these other plugins. So that's just a very beginner problem that I see with most people building websites. So don't panic. You can always go ahead and change your version of Elementor to make sure your website does not crash. So guys, I'm really happy that you guys made it to the end of this video, and I really hope this video helped you guys out. I do spend a lot of time making these videos to make sure that I cover everything in general, and I want you to walk away knowing how to use all the features with Elementor Pro. Now there maybe is like 1 or 2 features that we didn't cover, like the WooCommerce builder, but that's strictly for e-commerce websites and also ACF integration. That's also a third-party plugin that we use to integrate with dynamic content, but I will cover that in another video. So make sure to like this video and leave me a comment below and let me know what kind of website that you built and if this tutorial helped you out and if you would like to see more tutorials like this. My name is Darrel Wilson, and I will see all of you party people in the next video, guys. Take care.